Most people think their team is the problem. Poor standards, bad attitude, not stepping up. But if you're running a business that's over 7 figures and you're stuck with your team, hate to break it to you, but you're the problem. Now, I've led teams of 20 plus people in an office, 40 plus guys on site, loads of subcontractors, and every time performance dropped, it was not because of the team, it was not because of the lads on site, or because people suddenly got worse. It was because leadership got loose, it got unclear, or it was inconsistent management of people. So in this episode, I'm going to break down exactly what it takes to lead at this level, how you really scale into the multi 7 figures and 8 figures plus, and how you build leaders under you so that you are not the bottleneck and you are not running a low performing team. And it's how you set the standards that you've got through the values of the company, and how you deal with conflict properly instead of avoiding it. And it's really the shift that you need to make, and the simple shift, so that the business never grows or outgrows you, the leader. So if your team is stuck, it's not a hiring issue. It's a leadership ceiling that you have hit. And there is a way of getting through it, because the team isn't the problem, you are. And I'm about to save you years of frustration. Your team is not lazy. They are not unmotivated. They are just following your lead, and they are following the standards that you have set or allowed people to get away with. There's no accountability. If jobs run late, margins slip, if customers get annoyed or pissed off, or if people turn up late, or the quality is just not good enough at what you do on site, the end product is not good enough, it's just not a people problem. It's a leadership problem that ultimately you put them in that position. You recruited them. You put them in that role that you've got the issue with, and you've led and managed that person to get to that point in time. So it's on you. Like it's on you. Like you have to get your head around solving this. So it's time to get real. And this is where most business owners fail here, because most business owners want to be the nice guy. They want to be liked. They don't want any confrontation. They want to avoid difficult conversations. They want everyone to feel good all of the time and be happy all the time. They don't want anyone to be upset or under any pressure. And that is not leadership. That is actually insecurity. That is actually a lack of backbone in a leader. And the truth is, look, your job is not to be liked. You're not in business. You're not a company owner to be the most liked. Your job is to build people, hold the standards required, and get results. But by default, people will respect you and love you and value you so much more. It's not about being liked. It's about being respected, but you have to earn the respect by holding people to the standards required. Because people do not listen to what you say. They watch and they see what you avoid. They see what you let people get away with. They see what you ignore, what you brush under the carpet. They see who's more favourable and gets away with certain things when someone else doesn't. They see whether you keep your word on what you said you were going to do and if you don't do it or not. And they see whether you fold under pressure and choose the easy option and don't do the right thing by your people and the company. Now, I've had this in the past with partnerships. You know, I've had situations where partners don't want to fire anyone because they want to avoid it, they want to run from it. And I'd always want to be the more disciplined one, and they'd brush over it, and we'd make a decision, and then you leave the office, and then they try and mask over the problem and try and deflect from it and go, oh, don't worry about that, we'll just do it this way and keep him happy. Like that's all built on weakness, and that weakness is going to destroy the company. And it's such a big problem that it would just ruin the company from the inside out. Like, you have to have strong, firm leadership. If you imagine going to war, and business a lot of times is like war. You go into war. If the leadership crumbles at the top, what are the soldiers going to do? They're going to fail. So if someone always turns up late and nothing gets said, you are teaching people, and you're teaching the whole company, that lateness is acceptable. If you don't nip it in the bud. If someone wastes money or loses money and nothing gets said, you're teaching the whole company that margin doesn't matter to you. The finances don't matter to you. Oh, whatever. Well, yeah, fine, not a problem. You're setting that standard from that minute that if nothing gets said, and it's having the balls and the backbone to say what needs to be said. And if someone's being rude or doesn't follow the rules or doesn't follow the process or the systems that you've got, you're teaching the whole company that standards and respect don't matter to you. Can you see the knock-on effect that that's going to have in a business? So it's not so much about the words that you use, it's the lack of owning every micro situation in the business. And this is costing you hundreds of thousands of pounds. Hundreds of thousands of pounds. In lost revenue and in lost profitability. It's a huge cost. It's not a nice to have. Leadership and managing the people is one of the most profitable things you will do as you scale, because at some point it's not going to be just about you or 2 or 3 people. It's going to be about 10 or 15 or 20 people that have to perform. And it's costing you your reputation if you don't own these things and problems as they happen, which reputation is everything. You've only got one of them. Money comes and goes, but reputation, you've only got one of them. So you have to protect at all times. So your job as the owner of a company is to inspire people. It's not to temporarily motivate them or make them feel good. You really want to be in a position where you inspire people, because when people are inspired, they go to the next level. You know yourself, when you're inspired, you'll do anything to get there. Motivation comes and goes. And this is the hardest part of the business. You have to want to be this type of leader. And you have to want to genuinely care about your people, because the business will only be as good as the people within it. And the best leaders audit everything. Every meeting that I have, every conversation I have, whether it's a good conversation, a positive conversation, or a negative one, or a disciplinary, or a really complicated, frustrating conversation where there's a lot of conflict, I review every situation like that and every conversation like that and look at it and go, right, where could have I improved in that? What could I have said better? What could have I done differently in this situation? And this is what a really good leader does. And that's not me just blowing smoke up my arse. I'm just telling you the thought process that I have is that the only reason I've got good at leading people is because I'm so super critical. I review every situation. I review every single person's reaction to how I say something and how I did it and the method that I used. Like, this is how you improve anything. And the best leaders do audit everything. And the truth is, look, 20 years of leading myself, leading people, leading companies, I still get it wrong. I'm still learning today. Like, it's a never-ending thing. And I've got people that I'm very grateful for that are 50, 60, 70, 80 that have been in business and done a hell of a lot of things. And they all say the same thing, that it's a never-ending learning journey of the art of leadership and managing a team. And one of the cornerstones of this is that nice guys don't create good businesses. Nice guys create weak businesses. And I was a bit too nice when I was younger. Maybe that's part of just age, of being in your 20s, running a company and leading people. You're not experienced in life. You can't be. It's impossible. You're too young. But being nice has always cost me money down the line, or problems, or situations, or losing good people. And nice guys avoid certain things that need to happen, like rescuing people. You can't let people drown. And nice guys lower standards because it's the easiest thing to do today. It's a short-term comfort rather than the long-term gain. Nice guys make excuses. Nice guys carry the wrong people because of the wrong loyalties of old friendships. You've known them since school. You've known them a long time. It's your cousin's auntie. It's your uncle's best friend or neighbour. You can't let the wrong loyalty make you carry the wrong people that are not right for the business. And ultimately, nice guys tolerate average standards. And it's the average standards that kill the business that I spoke about many times before on the show and episodes that I put out. But then they wonder why the business feels heavy. They wonder why the profit is ultimately shit. It's not good enough. It's not where it should be. They wonder why people leave and why people don't perform. And they wonder why the customer's not ultimately happy and the culture's not there. There is no culture. There is no winning, thriving team culture. And the truth is, it's because of weak leadership. And weak leadership punishes the best people. Weak leadership punishes you, the owner, and it punishes the good people that you have got. And ultimately, it all crumbles. This is so important. So you have to jump on problems early because the cracks become catastrophes. A £500 problem today becomes a 50 grand problem tomorrow. Awkward conversations avoided on a Monday become the lost customer on a Friday. The customer frustration today becomes that negative Google review next month, or that lost client next month. They go to your competitor. Good leaders do not ignore the signals. And you have to pay attention to the signals. And I've had one situation where this really bit me on the arse, where I had a very large project, a big warehouse extension years ago, when I knew there was issues with the cladding package that we had. And I knew there were issues at tender stage. We couldn't get accurate prices. We couldn't get good communication from subcontractors, but we were pinched for a program. We needed to get someone engaged, someone on board. The cracks were there. And ultimately, when the guys had the package and they turned up on site, the excuses started. Labour levels were low, quality was low, issues were there. And I should have just saw the red flags at tender stage and just gone and found a different contractor. And I should have actually just paid more money, accepted the loss of margin by having the right contractor, but delivering the right job, because that job went on and on and on, and it ended up actually being a dispute with the cladder. It went on for a long time. We had a forensic QS involved. We had all sorts of legal battles and problems going on. Delays, charges, you name it. It was not a nice ride to be on. And if you've ever had a project go wrong like that, you understand how bad that is and how painful that is for everyone involved, and how much stress and pressure and loss of money it actually is. And how bad it is for your reputation. It's not good. And my point is, maybe that needed to happen to me to then really register and learn. Never, ever ignore the small signals. And this is what makes you a good leader of not just a project, not just the live sites and stuff that you've got going on, but actually the small signals in people, because people run the business. So you need to pay attention to jumping on the small problems in people. If you see someone off, they're not performing, someone's not quite right, you've got to jump on it now. Because ultimately your job as a business owner is building leaders. It's just about building leaders, giving people the responsibility, giving them a number, giving them a task, and having them follow through with it accurately. And then asking them, like, what do they think? Asking your key people and bringing them to the table. Like, what problems do they see? Like, this is not a one-way job, leading people. You've got to build them. And you do this, if you do this in the right way, by one, giving them responsibility, two, asking them what they think, what their opinion is, what problems do they see, what risks do they see, how can we do this better? And then actually talking through the potential solutions to every single issue or problem. You'll find the business just gains progress so much quicker. And I find a really clear way of communicating to people is just tell them clearly that this is what's happening. This is the problem. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't use 500 words when you could just use 3. Tell them, look, this is happening. This is what the team needs to do to fix this problem. And then this is what each individual needs to do. And this is when you need to have it done by. And then just come back to me when it's done. Like, clear, direct, and firm. The best leadership is always clear, direct, and firm. Not wishy-washy, just very to the point, regardless of whether you might hurt someone's feelings or the truth might sting a little bit. Just being incredibly clear and concise. And you really want your people and your team to have their best interests at your core, not yours, not thinking about you, what the benefit is for you. Because the quicker you get in the mindset of, like, if I make sure that everyone else's interests are looked after in the business, by default, your interests will be looked after. The company will grow, it will make the right profits, you'll hit the standards, you'll hit the KPIs. So you're cool. So you've got to get in the mindset of having their interests at the core of what you do. And it's how you care about them is how you care about them is how they will then care about your customers. Think about that for a second. If you genuinely care about the right people, they will then pass that genuine care on to your customers, which is what you want. This is what the consumer wants now in today's day and age. They want to be cared for, looked after, and understood as a customer. So your job is to make everyone in the team better. You imagine you've got a payroll of £1 million a year. If that payroll is underperforming, those people are underperforming, how much money that is. If they're underperforming by 20%, it's 200 grand loss effectively. Whereas if they perform at 20% better, it means you'll be able to do 20% more revenue and make 20% more profit. This is the way to look at it. Like the biggest fundamental factor of a business is the people within inside it. So what I like to do is like thinking, right, how do I make people better? Number one, share the big mission with them. Get them to buy in where you're taking the company. Share the vision. Share where you want the company to be in 5 years' time. The targets you need to hit. The standards we need to get through. The employees you're going to have to make. The investment you're going to have to make in the business. Like, sell them the dream. Get buy-in. Don't fluff it up. Don't talk bullshit. Talk in reality of where the dream and the vision of the company is. Because you're not just another electrical business. You're not just another plumbing business or carpentry business or joinery business. Like, where are you actually going in this business? And this is actually where a lot of you are stuck. You haven't got this planned out in your own head. A lot of you have become business owners by default. You started on the tools and it's got a bit bigger, a bit bigger, a bit bigger. And you're like, what the fuck do I do now? What am I in this for? And really, for me, you want to be aiming to becoming the market leader. So you're not just another business. You're here to dominate. You're here to control and own and lead the market of whatever it is that you do. Because what's the point in being a business if you're not doing that? Like, I don't see the point. Like, you should be aiming for number one and being the game changer in the industry of what you do. And when you do that, it's so much easier to attract the right people. Because people that have got vision themselves will want to work for a company that's got vision. They're not going to want to work for just another company. The best talent is always going to want to work for the best company, which starts on the inside out. So then you want to talk about what it means for them if you do win as a company. What's the long-term plan for your people? What's the potential of their role? Where could they go? What could they earn? What next level on the employment run on their career? Where could they go? Where can they end up? Like, what's in it for them? Like, ultimately, people work for money, but they also work for their progression and where they can go as a person. Everyone wants to progress. The right people want to progress. The bad people don't. So you can be able to see and dictate who's on board and who's not just by that alone. But you need to start mapping this out with your people and talk about what they need to improve on and how they actually get there. And that starts with the honest conversations of saying, look, you could be here, but you're going to need to do this, this, and this to get there. And if you don't, then it's going to be a different conversation. But if you do, you can have whatever you like at this level. This is what awaits you if you get through this stage. And you've got to look at the business as a boat. The business is a boat, and some people are rowing on that boat with you in the right direction. They're a propeller moving the business forwards. But some people are anchors. They're trying to stop the boat all of the time. And if you've got people trying to stop the boat, like, it's making business difficult. And you're probably allowing, I guarantee, there is someone in your company or on your team, whether it's in the office or on site, that you are making allowances for. They're actually an anchor. They're not a propeller. And that name and that person you are thinking about in your head right now, you need to be thinking, right, why am I allowing this to slip? Why am I doing this? Because it starts at the top. You are allowing that. So you've got to start leading. And it's a decision that happens today as you listen to this. You make that decision now. Are you going to start leading, or are you going to let shit just fucking carry on? And own and understand the fact that it's your decision, it's your choice. And if you want to start leading, you have to start leading yourself. You have to get perfectly clear on what you want out of this business and where you want this business to be. You have to start there. What are the targets for the business? What are the goals for the business? What do you want out of this company? What do you want your personal life to look like? What do you want the inner workings of the company to actually look like on paper, in reality? What is the vision for you? What is the routine that's going to dictate that vision and standards? What things are you going to do? All of the things that I talk about on the content I put out, the weekly meetings you need, the weekly non-negotiables you have to live by. Who are you going to be as a person? How much energy are you going to bring to the table? What standards are you going to set to every single person that no one can pull you up on your own shit? Like, and I just believe that people look and see the standard that you set, And that's everything. It's how you present yourself. It's how you walk into a room. It's how you talk. It's how you communicate. It's being in shape. It's eating like an athlete. Like I believe and live by this standard of setting the standard for my team. I want that to rub off on people, and it does. I've seen it. It happens all the time. The better I lead myself, the better everyone else gets led, and they become leaders themselves. They start training more. They start eating better. They start tackling more difficult things themselves. They start challenging themselves, learning, reading, developing. It just starts at the top. Everything starts at the top. And the reality is there aren't many business problems, but there are a lot of personal problems. And how the standards that you live by are going to be that massive dictator of that. And becoming the person that does what is required. You have to become, if you want to lead people and grow a real company, you have to become the person that does what is required, not what you feel like doing. This is the ultimate gap. And this is the gap that tests people. Right? Do you really want this? Do you really want the massive successful business that makes millions in profit every year? Or are you just pretending? Because this is the gap. Because if you do what is required, you will get there. But if you always rely on doing what you feel like doing and what's comfortable and what's easy, you will not get there. So you've got to start leading yourself first and tackle what gets in your way. Because I guarantee, look, there's only so many things that get in your way. There's only a handful of things that get in your way. Number one is fear. Any reason you're not doing something, it's because you've got an undercurrent of fear somewhere. You've got a fear of losing something. You've got a fear of losing a customer. You've got a fear of losing an employee. You've got a fear of losing your reputation. You've got a fear of looking stupid. You've got a fear of looking uncomfortable, and not tackling a situation. Somewhere along the line, there is a fear that is stopping you. Number two, it will be a limiting belief. You don't think that you're good enough to do it. You don't think that you're a leader, or you've tried everything and it doesn't work. Like you've got some bullshit noise going on in your head that is not accurate information. You're telling yourself a lie that I'm not really a businessman. I started on the tools. I'm more of a tradesman, or I'm not really cut out for leading. If you think that, you're never going to get there. You've got a limitation in your belief system, which is one of the hardest things to solve in a person. And if you have to change what you believe, and if someone can do something, it means that someone else can do it. That's the reality. Like we're all just meat and bones and a brain. It's the programming, it's the belief system that we've got in our own heads that dictate what we think we are capable of. And number three, it might be that you've got an emotional response to the problems, and you're not tackling things because you're actually acting out of emotion. It's either stress, it's either overwhelm, it's either anxiety, it's maybe feeling sorry for yourself or being a bit of a victim. There will be certain failure loops that you repeat on and on again. It's procrastination. Like this emotional barrier needs to be fucking broken. This ego barrier. This is what gets in the way of leading people and building a company. And then linked with that, number four is habits. It's the people that say they want to grow the business, but you don't want to market. You don't want to put yourself out there. It's saying you want better staff and team, but you don't want to lead them and you don't want to train them and you want to let them just get away with things. What habits are you doing that's getting in your way? Because you can know what you want to do. You can be driven and know, right, this is what I'm going to do. I can do anything. But if you're not actually living by the habits that it takes to get the result, you're never going to get there. Habits build the man. The man builds the business. And lastly, it then comes down to skill. If you've got your shit in order, your head's in the game, and you can do the things, and you can live by the standard of doing the repeat things day in, day out, over and over again that are the non-negotiables that count, it's only ever then going to come back down to the skill. And maybe you just don't know what to do. Maybe you just don't know how to do it correctly. And you need to be fucking excellent at everything in business. This is the standard of skill level that you need to require. So the first four things that get in your way are all mindset. So you need to start looking more internally, not externally. And one of the things that when I partner or invest into a company, it's bringing this next level of mindset and then the skill. Because most things are actually just, they're mindset problems. That's not just a label to make things very simple, go, yeah, it's because of my mindset. It's a reality. It's a personal issue that's getting in the way, whether it's a confidence issue, whether it's a self-esteem issue, whether it's a belief issue, whether it's an emotional control issue, whether it's a fear issue. These are all the things that actually get in the way of growing a company. So when you get someone that's bulletproof and they're not held back by any of that, and it's just a simple case of teaching someone a bit of skill, that's when a business can just skyrocket. It can get through anything. Get their head in the game first, and then everything else is simple after that. And you as a leader, you've got to communicate. Communication is the key skill. You've got to correct people, you've got to reward people, and most importantly, you have to punish people by the values of the company that you set. And a lot of these values will be your own personal values. And I know people don't understand. You loosely think what values are, but you don't understand what they are. So these are the values that I live by, and in me personally, and for any other company that I invest and partner in. Number one is leading by example. You have to be the example yourself. I will never be a hypocrite and ask someone to do something that I haven't done myself or know how to do myself. And I won't ask people to do things that I don't actively do. I can't ask someone to follow a standard if I don't live that standard myself. You have to lead by example. Number two, 100% personal responsibility. Not blaming any other person for any of your own personal problems or any problems that's come up. You've got to own them. And 100% means 100%. Not, yeah, well, most of it's my fault, but that was his fault and this was his fault. Everyone needs to 100% be held personal responsible for every single problem you've got in your life and in the business. Number three is being dedicated to the team and the clients. 100% dedication to the team. No one is their own island. No one is selfish. No one does things in their own way because it's better for them. They have to be dedicated to the team and the clients. Number four, you have to always be learning, growing, and moving forward. Progress is essential. Progress is actually what builds happiness. Progress is what actually fuels a business. You can get things wrong, but if you know you're making progress, you're actually still happy because you know, well, we've got it wrong, but we've learned, we've moved on. A lack of progress kills everything. No one is stimulated by a lack of progress. The business that stagnates, whether it's revenue, whether it's team, whether it's process, whether it's operational delivery, is the boring business that no one wants to work in. No one wants to work for or with that business. You have to always be learning, growing, and moving forward. Number five is going the extra mile. The standard is we go the extra mile and we do more than is expected. Whether that is a client, whether that is a team member, whether that is a situation of just doing the right thing, going the extra mile is essential. It's essential and it's a non-negotiable. Number six is being proactive and solution focused. Every single person has to be proactive and solution focused. I'm not interested in why we can't do things, how things won't work, why it won't work, and all the problems that we're going to face. Let's be proactive, roll our sleeves up, and focus on what we can do and what we can control and be solution focused. You manage people by these values, guys. All of these values I'm talking about, manage them by these values. If they don't match these values, you either train them or get rid of them. Number seven is being positive. An attitude, attitude is everything. Building this supportive environment and culture so that everyone's attitude matches. You can't do anything with a bad attitude. A bad attitude does not exist in any company or high-performing team culture. If you've got people with a bad attitude, it doesn't matter how skilled they are, it will drag the fucking company down. It will drag the team down. It will drag the progress down. Bad attitudes ruin things to the core from the inside out. Then number eight is discipline. We follow a routine that drives results. We're disciplined on the things that actually matter. If you don't have any form of discipline in a company, it will not grow, because discipline is not doing things when things are good and they're easy. Real discipline is doing things when they're difficult and hard, when things are against you, but you still do them anyway. And discipline from a personal perspective is the art of not betraying yourself when it's so easy to betray yourself and let things slip. Discipline is the cornerstone of success in anything when you strip it all back. And number nine is efficient working. Getting things done right first time efficiently, not wasting our time doing things over and over again. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of resource. It's a waste of time, energy, and money. And number 10 is completing what you start. If you start it, you fucking finish it and you own it until it is done. 100% done. These are 10 of the values that I have, and I have personally and in every company, that everyone has to live and die by those standards and those values. And that's how I manage people. This is the easiest way of managing people. So if someone does something wrong, I go through the values and go, which one of these are they violating? And if they're violating it, it's either a brush your shoulders, brush things up, or you don't belong in this business. It's a very simple way to have this. And ultimately, this is going to lead to having difficult conversations. And the quicker you can get used to difficult conversations, the quicker the business will perform and grow. And there is an art to having a difficult conversation. It's not nice for anyone, but it is essential. But what I've found is that it's easier for you and it's easier for the other person that if you just state the facts, like you don't bring any emotion to the table, even if they bring emotion back, you don't react to it. You don't just have opinions that are held loosely, or you're not retaliating to what they say. You just start with the facts and you say, look, you've missed this, this, and this. This isn't accurate. This has cost the company X amount of money. This has cost X amount of time. We have lost this client because of this, this, and this. And tell them why that is not good enough. Tell them what happens if this happens again or it keeps happening. Like, paint the picture for them. Look, if you keep losing money, you will not have a place in this job because we are here to lose money. Or if you keep turning up late, you will lose your job because lateness is not tolerated. So the next time you are late, you will be instantly dismissed. Am I clear? Like, you need to have just very clear, frank conversations, but paint the picture of the consequence of what is going to happen if they keep doing what they're doing. And you tell them the next steps, what they need to do. Make it very clear. All you need to do is make sure that the margin's hit. All you need to do is turn up at this time every single day. If you don't, this outcome will happen. If you do, this outcome will happen. And then you've got to hold them accountable. Depending on the severity of what they are in trouble for or what the difficult conversation is about, you need to hold them accountable for a set period of time. And it might be, right, if you don't change in the next 7 days, you are gone. If you don't change in the next 30 days, you are gone. And if you have to fire people. You have to let people go because there's A players and there's C players. You need A players. If they can't take clear instruction and change and adapt, they don't belong in the business. And I've had to fire a lot of people, and I don't like doing it. I still get it wrong. As good as I am at recruitment and filtering people out and hedging your bets on the right person, you still get it wrong. Recruitment is a game that isn't just relied on the skill set of a person. It's relied on their own place in life, their own personal issues, things that might happen, things change. Sometimes people are excellent and an external thing has happened and they've changed as a person. They're not as good as before. And I've had to fire people that were friends, and I've had to sit them down and say, look, I don't take any joy in this, but based on X, Y, and Z, you're not right for the company. And I've had a particular friend that kicked off hard with me. I was like, we've known each other for so long, we've done this, and it got all the emotions come out, and I just had to sit there and say, look, this is not based on how long we've known each other. This is not based on how close we are as friends or things that we've done. It's based on how you perform in the company, and I'm trying to run a company and I can't let this slip. So I understand if it's not what you want to hear, but it's the right thing that I need to do for the company that I own. And that's it. And if someone was your real friend, they'd understand that and take that. If they're not, then they're just in it for the paycheck anyway. So they're not actually your right friend. And I've had to have people fired, and from like a project management point of view, like it's so easy to have these conversations. If you're looking at a project that objectively on paper isn't making money, or it's lost money, or the quality is terrible on site, and you look at it with them and you go, look, talk me through how we got here. Like, you just have to do it. Like, you have to do it. You have to face it. Because the reality is, look, a business can survive temporary problems from something like marketing, like something not working. It can survive a temporary issue of a lack of qualified projects or jobs come into your world. It can survive a sales problem where you misquoted something, where you didn't follow up on something and you missed a ball. It can survive the odd pain in the arse client, and they're going to happen, they're going to come up. It can survive a bad system or process that isn't quite accurate or perfect yet. And it can survive a wrong hire where you change your mind or they're just not right, it doesn't work out, you let them go. But a business can never ever survive weak leadership with no direction at the top. Everything is governed by that person or people at the very top. It cannot survive that. This is why businesses ultimately go under or bankrupt. It's because the leader has taken their eye off the ball when they're not running the ship right. That's the reality. So the bottom line for you guys, your business will never outgrow your ability to lead. So if your team is underperforming, before you ever blame them, you have to look in the mirror. And then you have to raise the standards that are required to win in business. Quick one, guys. If you're doing over £1 million a year in revenue, but you know the business is not quite where it should be for how much work you put in, maybe the margins are slipping, maybe cash is a bit tight, maybe everything depends on you a little bit too much. I guarantee you've got leaks in the business, real profit leaks that need fixing quickly. The first step is to find the leaks, and that's why I built the 100K profit leak audit, to show you exactly where you are losing money, what is inefficient, and what needs to be fixed first. No fluff to it, there's no complicated accountant language, it's just total clarity on the business. You'll find the link below this. Go and take the 100K profit leak audit now. That's the best place to start.